Hey, Fit Fam, what's up? Lee Sligham here at North Phoenix Fit Body Bootcamp with today's Form Friday video. Today we are going to be talking about the drum roll, the squat. All right, this, we've gone through quite a bit of videos already. This probably should have been number one. This is really a foundation exercise, one of the most important, in my opinion, as far as progression. Again, really a base for a ton of different exercises. It is something you need to know how to do properly. You need to do it properly. You need to do it often, at least once or twice a week. And you need to continue to improve and get stronger with it so you can continue to build on it. So the squat is a necessity of being fit, and here is how you do a squat. All right, so I have got this box out today. All right, what we're going to use this for is a couple things. Initially, I'm going to use it as a depth gauge and also kind of a safety seat. All right, when first doing a squat, doing a proper squat, you are back on your heels. It can feel like you're going to fall. Well, falling from a standing position all the way down to the floor on your butt may not bother an infant or a young child, but as an adult, it does not feel good. So I've got a chair, more or less, is what we're going to use this for. So first off, I'm going to demonstrate the squat using this box. All right, so what I'm going to do is I want my feet shoulder width apart. I'm going to face you from the start here. Feet about shoulder width apart. Toes slightly flared out, okay? We're not even really looking at a 45-degree angle, definitely not more. That would be kind of considered a plie stance. A plie squat is something that we can do, but when you're doing a general squat, learning a squat, we do not want to be in the plie position. So feet shoulder apart, slight flare to those toes. All right, want to exaggerate really good posture, up nice and tall, a nice straight, tight, engage the spine and core. From there, our first motion is a slight pelvic tilt or push backwards with those hips. That initially sets that weight back on our heels, where we want it for a squat. From there, once those hips get back a little bit, we're going to reach that butt down and back like we're going to sit. All right? Depth-wise, ultimately, we want to get to knee depth or a little below. Keeping the chest up, shoulders back, so good posture. I don't want to round the spine coming forward. I want to stay up. I also want to keep my knees as wide as my toes. We call it tracking your toes, okay? If I drew a line from the middle of my shin straight out following the way my feet are angled, it widens up a little bit. I want to track that line with my knees. I don't want them coming in, especially when I stand up, okay? That's common. So, butt back a little bit. Sitting back, reaching the butt backwards, get that butt knee depth or lower. Weight back on my heel. Knees as wide as my toes. A nice stable core. And spine, and back up. Alright, so with the box, again, reach that butt back, leg touch the box, back up. Butt back, leg back up. Alright? So when my hips go back, naturally, my upper body and chest comes forward a little bit to stay balanced. Alright? That is the kind of bending or coming forward that we want, just at the hips. All right, we don't round the spine as we go. We don't come way forward like this. We actually fight to stay up or try to stay as tall as we can, because when we add weights to it, add speed, things like that, we want to be nice and upright. So if we slightly come forward a little bit, we still have good support. Not that we're pretty far forward, and as we go faster in that weight, we come further forward. Then that weight really starts to cause an issue in the low back. And things like that. So we really want to force ourselves to stay as upright as we can. Really over-exaggerate it. Again, get familiar and comfortable with being uncomfortable. So when you get better with it, we start increasing speed, weight, movements, that sort of thing. You're still going to stay in a nice, safe form instead of starting to get too sloppy and getting what we're going to call a danger zone as far as the back. Health and that sort of thing, okay? So, start off with something that maybe is a little higher, where I'm not quite getting to that parallel. Work on that range of motion, stay back on my hips, stay back on my heels, lightly touch backward. If I actually sit backward, that's what that's for, and pressing back up, okay? So, the depth is key. Why is depth so important? Depth starts to engage those glutes, okay? Just a slight bend in the knees. This little motion here is really predominantly quads, all quads, okay? we want to get those glutes involved, all right? That's a big part of the core and your hips. So the lower, or the more of an angle that I create here, the more I activate and use those glutes and hips, all right? Why is that so important, other than activating the glutes and hips? Well, as we age, one of the most common injuries, especially in older age, most common injuries is from a slip and fall or a trip and fall. Therefore, the lunge and the squat are extremely important in being able to avoid a fall that can lead to shoulder issues, a broken hip, broken arm, broken bones. Once you hit the floor or the ground, I can no longer protect you anymore, but I can help you from hitting the ground, and that is through good mobility, balance, and strength. Again, namely the lunge and the squat. The lunge was last week's video. Please check that out if you haven't already. So if I were to trip and fall, I want to be able to catch myself, all right? So if I have to bend my knees and catch myself in a low position to avoid falling, that's one thing a squat's important for. That's another thing a lunge is important for. So that's why that depth and things are so important to maintain our mobility, stay active, especially as we age, okay? And also, I mean, if we want to talk aesthetics, we want to talk about having a nice backside. Squat booties are important. Maybe you heard that before. That comes from the depth, okay? This does not engage those glutes really whatsoever. That is purely quads, and doing that over time without getting the same work on that backside is going to pull you out of alignment, lead to different issues, improper balance, different stuff like that. Being stronger on the front than you are on the back. We want to make sure we are balanced out. So we want to continuously work on that depth, all right? A good test of how good is my form is to get down into a low squat and hold it, okay? So if I get down to a good squat here, if I'm not balanced and I'm way far forward, I might feel like I'm fighting to fall forward. Because I'm not on my heels. I got to get back and nice and upright. If I can hold this position without feeling like I'm falling forward backwards, that's because I'm in good balance. How can I check that? I want to wiggle my toes. If I can wiggle my toes, that means the weight is back on my heels. If I'm too far forward, I can't wiggle my toes because the weight's on them, okay? I want to also keep my knees nice and wide in that position. I want to really exaggerate and force a nice tall posture with my shoulders and back, and also checking that butt down. Alright? So a whole thing, nice way to really engage that form, practice it, get better at it, that sort of thing, okay? So I've shown you the box, or a platform, a chair of some sort that you gradually want to get lower with as an assistance in getting better with that depth. There's another thing we can also use. Alright? In previous videos, I've shown you working with a PVC pipe, a mop stick, broom handle, something like that. If you can't get back up from that low position, it is okay to use a little assistance in the form of a pull or something. So if I get down to here, and I just can't get back up, if I have a pull for me, it'll help me gradually get stronger by getting that full range of motion. So it's just a way of assisting yourself to get up from that low squat. Again, if I don't have that assistance, I can't go any lower than that, so that's all I do. You're never going to get better and get deeper with your squat. So don't be ashamed to use some assistance. Use that to help you get better. If I use this to get all the way down, help pressing back up, over time, I'm going to be able to get rid of that, okay? So those are some main keys with the squat, a few tools to help you get that squat lower, 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 full range of motion, and then practice that, all right? So how do you do something? How do you learn something new? One, you have to learn it, all right? You have to know the components, doing it properly. You have to be able to do it properly, and then you have to practice it properly, okay? Through practice, proper practice, you'll get better and better with it, and it'll start to become second nature, all right? From there, we can add a lot of different exercises. We can throw shoulders into it in the form of a thruster. That is a squat with a shoulder press. We can add tons of different motions, add different activities to it to make it more even functional, more advanced, make it work harder, more effective, more efficient, stuff like that. So again, 5 key things on the squat before we finish today. Feet, shoulder width apart. heels. So let's go with our feet slightly flared out, just like a few degrees outward. Great posture. Weight back on my heels. Butt depth, knee level or lower. Pressing back up and keeping that spine stabilized and nice and straight. All right. So that is the squat. Really concentrate and put the effort into getting better in the squat, getting lower, perfect it. Trust me, it is going to benefit your fitness and your health immensely by getting better with that. Again, as always, if you have questions, please contact the gym, North Phoenix Fit Body Bootcamp. You can comment below this video, message me. Again, we appreciate you following along with us. Hopefully this will help you. Again, put that effort in. Be committed, not just interested in fitness. All right, you guys have a great weekend. Again, thanks for joining me. Be good.